Right now, somewhere in your kitchen, there is something sweet, and part of your brain already knows exactly where it is. You might not be hungry. You might have just eaten. But if someone slid a warm cookie across the table, your hand would move before your mind could argue. That pull feels like weakness. It feels like a lack of willpower, a personal flaw you're supposed to fix. But the real answer is far stranger. That craving isn't a bug in your character. It's one of the oldest, most successful survival programs ever written, and it's running inside you right now in a world it was never designed for. Let's go back. Not 100 years, not 1,000, millions. For almost the entire history of your species, sugar was rare. Not rare like a treat, rare like treasure. There were no fields of cane, no bags of white powder, no shelves stacked with soda. If your ancestor wanted something sweet, they had exactly one reliable option: fruit. And fruit in the wild was a gamble. Wild fruit was small, seasonal, and fiercely contested. Birds wanted it. Insects wanted it. Other primates wanted it. And it was only sweet for a narrow window, ripe for a few days before it rotted or was stripped from the branch. To find sugar, your ancestor had to search, climb, and compete. And when they finally bit into something sweet, that taste carried a message millions of years in the making. That message was simple. This is energy. Eat all of it. Eat it now. Because sweetness in nature is almost never a lie. A sweet taste means sugar, and sugar means calories. And calories mean survival for a body that spent most of its existence one bad week away from starving. Your tongue evolved to detect it. Your brain evolved to reward it. And the reward was so powerful that once you tasted it, you would remember exactly where you found it, and you would come back. So who's really in control when you reach for that cookie? You or something much older than you? Consider what happens the moment sugar hits your tongue. Sweet receptors fire. A signal races to a region of your brain called the nucleus accumbens, part of what scientists call the reward system. And there, a chemical called dopamine is released. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the thing that makes the cookie taste good. But the neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent decades showing that this is wrong. Berridge discovered that the brain separates two things we usually blur together: liking and wanting. Liking is the actual pleasure, the enjoyment on your tongue. Wanting is the craving, the drive, the pull toward the thing. And dopamine, it turns out, mostly powers the wanting. It's not the reward itself. It's the engine that hunts the reward down. This is the strange part. You can want something far more intensely than you actually enjoy it. The craving can be enormous while the pleasure is small. That gap between how much you want sugar and how good it actually makes you feel is the entire trap. Your ancient wanting system was built for a world where sweet things were scarce and precious. It was never built to be switched off. It was built to keep hunting. And for most of history, that was perfect. The problem only appears when the hunt suddenly ends. Because something happened to sugar. Something recent and enormous. Humans learned to farm it, refine it, and concentrate it into a form that never existed in nature. Sugarcane was domesticated thousands of years ago, but for most of that time, refined sugar was a luxury of the rich. Then, over just a few centuries, it flooded the world. Today, the average person consumes more sugar in a single week than many of your ancestors would have tasted in months. Think about what that means for a brain built around scarcity. Your reward system spent millions of years learning that sweetness is rare, valuable, and worth chasing. Then, in an evolutionary blink, sweetness became endless, cheap, and engineered to be as intense as possible. Your ancient program didn't get the memo. It's still running. It still thinks every sweet thing might be the last one for a long, long time. So how powerful is that program really? A researcher named Anthony Sclafani at Brooklyn College ran experiments that hinted at the answer. He gave rats access to ordinary lab food, and they ate normally. Then he gave them access to sweet, palatable human foods, the kind engineered to taste good, and something changed. The rats overate dramatically. They gained weight in ways they never did on their natural diet. Their bodies weren't broken. Their environment was. The food had outrun their instincts. Then came an experiment that unsettled a lot of people. The neuroscientist Sergi Ahmed in France gave rats a choice. On one side, cocaine, one of the most addictive substances known. On the other side, sweetened water. In experiment after experiment, the overwhelming majority of rats chose the sugar.